Myers Park branch, and I am so glad that you have joined us for Storyvine. This is one of the library's best events of the year. I know you've heard some great stories this morning. I'm sure you're going to hear some more later on today. Storytelling. You wonder, what is traditional storytelling? Well, it's an art form that's been passed down for generations and generations for hundreds and thousands of years of human history. Why, of course, in years before there were phones or tablets or even electricity, for years people would sit around the campfire at night and tell the stories of their people, the wisdom of the tribe, the stories of the notable people, things they should know. And that's how wisdom and stories were passed down from generation to generation, even to this day. And one of the best places, one of the richest traditions of storytelling is a place called Appalachia, or Appalachia, however you want to say it, which is up in the North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia mountains, a little bit of Georgia, South Carolina too. And the people would be at night, they'd tell all these stories from generations from way, way, way back. And one of the best stories I know of is the story about a boy named Jack. Now, Jack was usually the youngest of three boys. He had two older brothers, Will and Tom, and his parents and his mom and pa all lived up, of course, in a little log cabin way back in the mountains. Now, Jack was not the biggest. Well, he is the youngest. He wasn't the biggest. He wasn't the strongest, and often was more than might lazy. But he was very clever and always, through his wits, managed to come out on top. I got this story from a great book from the library called The Jack Tales, put together by a fellow named Richard Chase. You can find this book online or at your conveniently located public library. And I'm going to tell a story out of here called Jack and the Varmints, but I like to call it Jack and the Boar and the Unicorn and the Lion. Now, one day, Jack was just walking up the road, not going any place particular. And he saw this place outside a road where somebody had been working with a lot of lumber. And he picked up a little piece of wood and took out his pocket knife and just kind of lazily, just kind of whittling that piece of wood. Too lazy to whittle anything in particular, so he just walking and whittling. And for long, he noticed he had whittled himself a little kind of club here. And he thought, well, I'll just put me a little hole in that club, tie a little bit of string, a bit of leather shoelace around there, and just started swinging it over his head. Just walk on the road, swing his head, kind of like kids do sometimes. And he saw off the side of the road a little pool of water. And there were like 7 big blue bottle flies in there. So he took that thing like boys do, took the thing, swung around, and whack! Knocked down all 7 of those blue bottle flies in one whack. Felt pretty good about himself. He's walking down the road, talking about how big, strong man he was. Came upon a blacksmith. He said, Mr. Blacksmith, could you do something for me? I said, well, I reckon I could. Well, would you get your brads out, put something on my belt, just spell something out in my belt, and I'd certainly appreciate it. That's why I'd be happy to, Jack. So he took off his belt. The man put the brads in the belt. Maybe some of you have done the summer camp, something like that, and spelled out a long phrase, went all around his belt. He was walking down the road, feeling mighty proud of himself. And the king came riding by on his big, fancy horse. He said, howdy, Jack. He said, well, howdy, King. Jack, wait just a minute. What does that say on your belt? Could you turn around where I could read it? And Jack turned around, and the king read out what was on his belt, which said, strong man Jack killed 7 out of whack. Is that true? Is that true, Jack? Well, yes, sir, King. It's right true. Killed 7 out of whack. Well, you're going to be a right stout fellow then, Jack. I reckon you can do most anything. Well, I don't know, King. I have pulled a few tricks in my time. Well, climb up here, Jack. I could use a big man like you. A big, strong man like you. Come up here. I got a job for you, and if you'll take it, I'll pay you $1,000. Well, even if he was kind of lazy, he was willing to work for $1,000, wouldn't you? Yes, indeed. So he climbed up on the king's horse, and the king started riding up the road and said, now, Jack, there's this big wild boar hog that's been getting out around my settlements. He's been killing up all the sheep, and I've sent my men out to shoot him, but they're all scared of him. Now, Jack, if you'll go ahead and just get rid of that boar hog for me, you'll get your $1,000. Jack And besides, a big, strong man like you who killed 7 big bad guys at a whack should have no problem with that boar hog. Well, have you ever seen a boar hog? Do you know what it's like? Oh, they're a fearsome creature. You're out in the woods alone, there's a boar hog, you're in big trouble. And Jack knew that too. Well, a boar hog is kind of like a big pig with an attitude. Kind of has 2 big tusks up front, kind of looks like this. Sounds like that too. Oh, you're in bad trouble if you ever meet a boar hog out in the woods. Jack kind of knew that, being raised up in the hills like that. So he's trying to tell the king that, it wasn't 7 big guys or 7 blue butterflies. But before he could say anything, the king said, all right, Jack, this is the last place they saw that boar hog. That thing's terrible. It's been killing a bunch of sheep, run off all the people in the settlement. But a guy who killed 7 out of whack, well, you go right ahead, Jack. I would stay here with you, but I got important business in town. Bye. And turned around. That horse went as fast as that horse could carry him. Jack was thinking, well, if the king's that scared of that boar hog, and maybe I ought to kind of light out of here. I mean, $1,000 ain't going to do me much good if I'm dead. So he started sneaking around through the woods trying to find out a way. When all of a sudden, here come that boar hog running down the mountain right at Jack. He had smelled him. It was too late. That boar hog smelled him. He's right after him, going like running down the hill right at Jack. Jack took off running fast as he could. Whippity cut, whippity cut, whippity cut, whippity cut. Him, that boar hog, just running through the woods. And Jack looked behind him. That boar hog was gaining on him every step. Jack, they say Jack jumped 15 foot every step that time, but that boar hog just kept gaining and gaining until, he was almost right on Jack's tail. And so Jack ran out of the woods into a field and saw an old abandoned house out there with the roof had caved in. So Jack ran to the house, ran through the door. That boar hog was right behind him. He was so close, as a matter of fact, that Jack started climbing that wall. That boar hog jumped up, tried to bite out of Jack, tore off a piece of Jack's coat. But Jack climbed up there on top of that wall, and the boar hog just tried to jump at him, tried to get him. But Jack saw that boar hog could not jump that wall. He got off the wall, ran around inside the house, closed that door, got a couple of pieces of lumber, jammed that thing in, shut it, made it shut. Made sure that hog couldn't get out. He kind of sauntered back to the king's palace. The king said, Jack, did you take care of that hog already? Well, what you talking about, King? I didn't see no boar hog up there. Why, Jack, you must have seen it. That thing just makes for everybody out there. Didn't you see him? Oh, King, I saw a little baby pig out there. We started playing around a little bit, and he was kind of frisky. But then he took a bite out of my coat, and I got mad at him. So I just grabbed him by the ear and the tail and shoved him into a old abandoned house there and jammed the door shut. You can go up there, see him if you want to. Well, the king got on his horse, rode up there, and we saw that boar hog just snorting and grunting and carrying on up that house. He about beat that horse to death, getting back to his palace. He blew his horn. 50 or 60 of his men came running out to grab their Winchester rifles, all ran up there to get a shot at that boar hog. But they heard that thing and saw that ferocious face and those flashing eyes. But they was too scared to get there. So Jack said, oh, come on, you big, strong man. Here, grab me one of them rifles. So he grabbed one, climbed up a tree, took a couple of shots at that boar hog. That boar started running around going crazy. And when he finally fell over, he tore the house plumb down. Well, the king was good to his word. He gave Jack $1,000, and Jack stuck his pocket. Thank you, King. Started walking on down the road, thinking all the things he was going to do. Well, what would you do with $1,000? Quite a lot, I bet. Well, he's thinking all the things he'd do with $1,000 when all of a sudden he heard, looked around. Here's the king riding up the road towards him on his horse. Jack. Oh, Jack, thank goodness I saw you. Jack, I got another big job for you. I got a bigger, even more important job for you. Oh, King, what is it this time? Well, Jack, there's a unicorn that's come around the settlement. He's come down he's up on another mountain up there. He's been killing a whole bunch of livestock up there. We need you bad, Jack. We need you. I'll pay you another $1,000, Jack. And please come up there. Oh, all right, King. I'll be. Come on, King. Let's go. So they started walking, riding up there, and the king pointing out all the places where the fences have been knocked down, trees have been toppled over, couple of dead livestock along the way, all results of that unicorn. And said, well, that's the last place we saw the unicorn. I got more important business town. Bye. He turned around, burnt the wind going back. Jack was thinking to himself, well, I've already got me $1,000 in my pocket right here. I guess I'm pretty safe if $1,000 will do me real good. I'll just head him back. He started sneaking away. When all of a sudden, here something come crashing through the trees and through the brush up there, and there it was, big unicorn, gleaming white coat, lightning flashing out of his eyes, big long golden horn. He took one look at Jack and pawed the ground and started charging right after him. Started charging right at Jack with that horn roared right at him. Jack knew he had no time to run away, but saw that he was standing in front of a big white oak tree. Got himself an idea. And Jack just stood there, that unicorn getting closer and closer and closer. And just before that unicorn horn went right through Jack, Jack jumped aside, and that unicorn went and stove that horn right through that tree. Well, Jack walked around the other side of that tree, pulled a few nails out of his overall pockets, grabbed himself a big rock, kind of bang, 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 put the nails in that horn, made sure that unicorn couldn't get loose from that tree as hard as he tried, and he couldn't. So Jack just kind of sauntered back to the king's palace, and the king said, Jack, back already? Did you take care of that unicorn already? Unicorn? What are you talking about, king? I didn't see no unicorn up there. Well, Jack, everybody's seen it up there, all frightened of it. What happened? Well, I did see a little yearling bull up there, and he was just kind of pawing the ground, acting all big like, and I just kind of ignored him, but he kept jabbing me with that one horn. It's a little bull with one horn, just kept jabbing with that horn. I got tired of him, and I just grabbed him by an ear and the tail and just stove him into the tree, and he's up there if you want to go see. Well, the king got his men with him this time, and went up there. Sure enough, there was that unicorn trying his hardest to get loose out of that tree. And they couldn't get a good shot at him. They thought it was kind of shame to kill such a beautiful creature anyway. Till one of them thought of, well, there's a big circus coming through town not far. Maybe we can make a bunch of money selling to that circus. So they just kind of sawed off that tree, took him to town. As far as I know, that unicorn escaped. Have you ever heard of a circus with a unicorn in it? No, I haven't either. So I bet you he escapes. Probably. Well, I don't know. If you're ever up in Appalachia sometime, might be careful. Watch out for unicorns up there. Well, the king, of course, was good to his word, gave Jack that extra $1,000. So Jack put that in his pocket, started walking down the road, got about half a mile down the road. He started thinking to himself, you know what? I hope that king don't come after me with another job. Started looking around sides of the road, found a little trail going off the side of the road, started climbing up the trail. And all of a sudden, what did he hear? Of course, a horse riding up here. Of course, it was the king. The king, Jack, where are you? Where are you, Jack? Oh, Jack, where are you? They spotted him a trail. Oh, there you are, Jack. I was so scared. Oh, I was so afraid I was going to miss you. Jack, we got another job, the biggest, most important job yet for you. Oh, king, what is it this time? Jack, there's a lion's come over the mountains from Tennessee. Why, he's just tearing up everything up there. He's killing horses and cattle and even a few men that's going to try to go after him. Oh, he's just terrorized the whole place. And when I told them about you, Jack, they made me promise to come over here and send you back there to them. Now, Jack, I need your. I'll pay another $1,000. Well, king, I've got $2,000 already, and I don't know about having another lion. Besides, I've got to get home before dark. They're going to worry about me. Jack, I'll give you $1,000 right now. Down payment, cash money. I'll give you another $1,000 when you get the job done. All right, king, here I come. So it climbed up on the king's horse. They rode up to the mountains where it saw all these kind of cabins knocked down, all these fences, deserted fields and stuff like that, trees with big claw marks on them. Jack kind of started wondering about this job. But the king let him off, says, this is the last place we saw that lion, Jack. Now, I've still got important business back town. I got to go by. And he took off. Oh, I didn't know a horse could ride that fast. Well, he took on off, and Jack started looking around, and he thought to himself, well, I got a bunch of money right now. How's the goods going to do me if I'm dead? But before he could even finish that thought, he heard this roar up the side of the mountain. That mountain just shook with that roaring. That lion had done smell Jack. Here comes that lion, knocking down trees, busting up logs, tearing rocks into two, coming out there, roaring right at Jack. Jack knew he had no chance to outrun that lion, so he just did the first thing he thought of, started climbing up a tree. That lion looked at Jack, roared a couple of times, tried to jump up there and get him, but Jack didn't stop climbing the tree till he got way to the top. Well, when that lion got all frustrated, like knew he couldn't climb up that tree, he just lay down at the base of that tree and just started gnawing at the tree, trying to maybe gnaw it down, maybe had Jack tumble down with it. Well, Jack was, as you can imagine, kind of scared up there. But just looking at how fast that lion was gnawing that tree, making them chips and bark fly. Well, about the time he got that tree about halfway gnawed through it, the lion started getting sleepy. He just wore himself out and just curled up around that tree, went to sleep. Well, Jack thought, here's my chance to get away. I better be real quiet, though. So he started climbing down that tree, looking to see if that lion were awake or not, and didn't notice that he put his foot down on a prickly snag, an old rotten limb, and put his full weight on it, and sure enough, what do you think happened? Snap! That thing came. Jack came tumbling down a tree, bam! Right on top of that lion, right astride that lion's back. That lion woke up, roar, like saying, what's this? What? He just started jumping up and jumping around, bucking like an old horse. Jack grabbed on the lion's mane and held on for dear life. That lion got so angry, so crazy, he's just running around in circles. Jack just holding on for dear life. He started running up the public highway, cars and stuff just tearing off the way, people in wagons jumping off the side of the road, roaring top of his voice, ran right into town. People jumped, climbing trees, running inside stores, running inside. The lion started sailing around the courthouse. And the king looked out and saw what was happening. Man, come over here. Here, Jack's on top of it. Somebody shoot that lion. Don't hit Jack, man. Shoot that lion. So the men started looking, trying to get a good beat on that lion to the fight. Bam! One of them got him. The lion tumbled right over. But Jack rolled on the ground, got up, started brushing dust and dirt off of him. And the king came with, Jack, are you all right? Are you all right? Well, I was all right, King, till you came along. Now I'm plumb mad at you, King. Mad? At me? For what? Well, I got that lion here, and I was just riding him around, trying to get him all gentle-like. I was going to bring him to town, make him a present to you of a riding horse, and bedads, your men done gone and shot him now. Oh, Jack, I'm powerful sorry. I would have felt real proud riding on a lion. Here, men, you shot him. Here, take up an extra $1,000 for Jack. So they took $1,000. The king gave him his $1,000. Jack took out. Now, how much money did he have? Have you been listening closely? Nope, not 3. He got paid once for the boar, once for the unicorn, twice for the lion, extra $1,000 for the lion from the men who shot him. How much is that? $5,000. That was a lot of money way back in the day, way back up in the mountains. So Jack took that money back home. You can imagine his folks were mighty surprised when he laid all that money on the table that night. Well, last time I was up that way, Jack is still rich, and to this day, as far as I know, he has never done a day's work since. And that's the story of Jack, the boar, the unicorn, and the lion. I hope you enjoyed that story. Hope you enjoy all the stories that you hear today. Remember, not only I can tell stories, but you can too. Remember these stories. You don't have to say them word for word, but look up these stories at your library. Remember them from what you've heard today. Tell them to your friends, to your family, to your schoolmates. They will have a great time. Now, we also hope that you will participate in our summer break event for the library. This is an exciting way to win prizes, have fun, and keep your reading skills sharp over the summer. So keep your brain active. And besides, reading is so much fun anyway, right? Absolutely, yeah. So you can be part of our Read, Learn, and Explore program this summer. It's going from June 1st to August 13th. You can sign up online at summerbreak.cmlibrary.org, or you can go by your local library, talk to the people there. Hope you have a lot of fun this summer. Hope you have a good time at the library. Come see any of us sometime. Come see me at the Myers Park Library. I will look forward to seeing you. Thank you. Bye.